Hey everybody, it's Hill Caesar. Joined with my co-host Alex, OBC, the original, the White Wolf. And today is a very special day. We're joined by the beautiful, handsome El Ray, my brother in real life. And it's his birthday. So happy birthday, bro.
Hey, happy
Thank you,
birthday. I know
brother.
that.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
young Alex. Yeah, big
You
3-0 today. I'm feeling it.
feeling
Feeling
the
it
big
today.
3-0?
Feeling it today. Yeah.
You do anything good for your 3-0, or did you already get that out of your system?
Bro, I work today, Did pick up a PS5, so I got that sitting in the bedroom. So that's pretty cool.
Hey, we do
Yeah,
nerd content here, so that'll help out sometime.
absolutely. Yeah, we won't open it until Christmas because, the wife said it's a gift. So it'll have to wait. But
It's all right. Me and you
yeah,
both rocking Xbox Series X right now, so we got time.
absolutely. I'm always ready.
So anyway, the handful of viewers we got know me and Alex have known each other for about 6, 7 years now. Me and El Ray have known each other for 30 years now. And
Yeah.
got to give a little backstory. El Ray's probably a little bit bigger of a nerd than I am, probably a little bit. He probably knows more Resident Evil lore than me and Alex. I don't know about combined, but he knows quite a bit.
Well,
And what
thank you
we're
for
here to talk
introducing the
about,
topic yet.
yeah, that's what we're here to talk about today is Resident Evil. More specifically, Resident Evil, Welcome to Racoon City, the new movie that's currently out and still playing in theaters. El
Yeah.
Ray, you were the first to watch it. So what did you think about it?
Yeah, like I told you before when I gave you my just general scoring, and we didn't talk about it because we were going to talk about it today. Thought it was all right. I said I gave it a 7 out of 10. It was decent. Could have been better, obviously. Could have been a lot worse. Given the track with the other Resident Evil movies, which were
Sure.
garbage. But yeah, it was decent. Like I said, it could have been fleshed out a little more, I guess, with them trying to cram two games worth into one singular movie, fitting that in an hour 47, runtime. It just, a lot got left on the wayside, but it was decent.
What were your pros with it? What did you like about it specifically?
I loved the mansion scene. Like, when Jill and Wesker go off on their own, and Chris
Yeah.
and Richard are exploring through the mansion, and then they meet that first zombie, and Chris is all get back, and pops him, and he just he keeps coming at you, and it did the iconic RE1. He looks up all blood dripping down, and old boy's laying there dying, and then just the horde descends on him. And they're reeling and backpedaling, and they're popping them left and right, boom, 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 and like Richard, obviously he gets overtaken, and Chris is on the run fighting for his life, and then it cuts to that scene where it's just gun flash, zombie, drops his MP5, pulls sidearm, pop, pop, then he pulls the knife, and you're hearing this stabbing and shooting, and then that really cool lighter scene. I feel like it done well to capture, like, because the mansion, even though it was a mansion, it seemed tight and kind of claustrophobic.
Claustrophobic.
I feel like it did well to, especially when he's clearly there's a swarm, and it's one dude with a handgun and a knife.
I mean, you remember in the first game, you had a lighter. You actually
Yeah,
used a lighter. That was a
yeah,
good time.
yeah, like in RE1, Chris doesn't even start with a gun. He starts with a combat knife. You find the handgun very, very early on, but yeah, I think it built the tension well.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, man, is this dude going to survive, or is he going to be overtaken by this horde? But I thought the mansion scene alone it would make me watch it again, just because of how well it just, you felt the dread, because you're like, again, is he going to make it? Is he going to die? Are they going to overtake him?
True.
But that scene was probably the best in the entire movie.
Well,
For
then
me,
let's
anyway.
go around the table here with the pros. Alex, what were your pros that you saw from the film?
I like the way the police department looked. I thought it was pretty well designed, had a good look to it. It had a good, the music was different than I expected it to be. It was kind of creepy and ominous, which I felt like built the atmosphere pretty good. Uh,
Sure.
the zombies, I thought the zombies looked, you know, decent.
Yeah.
Other than that, though, man, I'll be honest, I didn't like it, but I'll just wait for the cons.
Okay. Okay. I'll chime in now with my opinion of the pros of it. And I would say I'm probably going to be more middle of the road between you probably not liking it and El Ray liking it. So I'd say I'm right there in the middle. The thing I noticed immediately right out of the gate was this looked like a movie that was actually, it wasn't recorded digitally. It looked like it was filmed on like 8mm. It had that grainy, dark grindhouse style movie. Like if you ever watched the movie Grindhouse or you ever saw those exploitation films of the 70s and 80s, man, it looked like one of those. And I dig that style. I definitely like that. Other pros, like what Bro was talking about, the mansion was awesome. I
It
love the
was
police
awesome.
department too. Love the police department. The gates closing up just like in the Resident Evil 2 remake. That's still pretty fresh in my mind. Pretty similar. I like other little things like set pieces, like what El Ray said about the zombie turning its head to the side. Damn near straight out of the game. Looked almost exactly like it. Also,
Absolutely.
you
Go ahead,
had
bro.
you had the trucker grab that big greasy
Yeah,
freaking breakfast sandwich right out of the right as soon as you saw it. And that to me was another set piece right out of the RE2 remake. Those are two things that I definitely liked. Again, any movie that's kind of a grindhouse style, I'm still a fan of that. I would say that's probably though where my pros are gonna kind of slide off. So style of movie plus some of the things that translated straight out of the games.
yeah. Like
So
I enjoyed
yeah,
a
you've
lot
got
of the
more.
Easter eggs. The Easter eggs that they tied in. Like you said with the trucker, him eating that sandwich at one point when you're first, well, after the diner scene with Leon and the Stars members, when they're in the police station and Chief Irons is getting ready to come in and give them the business. Jill's asking Richard Aiken, "Hey, what do you think would be the worst way to die? Be eaten by a giant snake or eaten by a great white shark?" And if you play Resident Evil 1, depending on who you play as, Chris or Jill, he's either eaten by a giant snake or a giant shark. And
You
I
know how
thought that
pissed
was
off
pretty
I
cool.
was that you didn't get to see the giant snake? I was actually pissed off. No giant snake, no crocodile.
I expected the snake 100% when they went to the house. Expected it 100%. So yeah, I was disappointed there as well. But I liked when they make it to the orphanage and they meet
Mm.
Lisa Trevor, who shouldn't have been there, but we'll talk about that in cons. She gives Claire the keys, and they're the diamond key, the spade key, the heart key, like you use in the police station. I thought that was cool. But yeah,
Absolutely. More good
I
Easter
enjoyed it.
eggs straight out of the game.
Yeah, I appreciated the Easter eggs. Those felt like decent fan service. So yeah.
What were your cons?
Well, the casting was not a fan of the casting for Leon or Jill. I thought they were both awful, just awful. Like you could have found a cosplayer with zero acting skill who would have done a better job looks wise, in my opinion. Uh,
Oh, 100. Yeah, 100%.
I thought, especially like the zombie dog that attacks Brian Irons in the car garage. I thought it looked terrible. I
It
thought it
did.
looked like
Looked awful.
CGI from 20 years ago. It looked horrible. Uh, let's see. The final zombie or the final monster when Birkin mutates, like when he mutated and he starts assaulting Chris and all. Oh, you thought you could be my family?
Yeah, dude, what the
No,
hell
like,
was that?
yeah, what was that about? Like, there was no relationship like that ever between Chris Redfield and William Birkin. Like William Birkin in the game, he's kind of sympathetic. Like he gets blasted and he injects himself and then he mutates. And even in the game, if you listen close as he mutates further before he gets too far along, you can hear if you listen close like his little normal face, like, oh help me, like he's still in there, he's trapped. but the mutation's taken over his body. But the final monster, what was the point? It was done in 20 seconds. Like it shows up, rips the door open or the roof open. Leon pops it with a rocket launcher, and that's it.
Dude, how did they not go deaf, by the way, with a rocket launcher being shot in a friggin' trailer? But
yeah, like nobody took any splash damage. Like Chris was 5 feet from the thing when it blew up. But I had qualms, like I mentioned earlier, with Lisa Trevor. Lisa Trevor, she was only added into the Resident Evil games. In the OG one on the PlayStation 1, she's not a thing at all.
True.
When they remade it on the GameCube, they added more story, fleshed it out a little. And the way it works is like her dad built the mansion itself. He was the architect that built the mansion. And they took her and experimented on her. And she took to the virus well, that she didn't have uncontrollable mutations. Obviously, it messed with her, because she's off in the head. But she took to it better than a normal person would do. But as you see on what she was wearing in the game, they would, her mother was dead, and they would try to find lookalikes or people that could fill that role, and they would send them in. Oh, here's mommy. And she would freak out and rip the face off the person and started to wear them on her, like a weird macabre cloak in a way. But she's only in one, and she doesn't have a huge role in one, so she has no relation whatsoever with Claire Redfield. But I don't get why that was put in, if it's just the sake of her giving them the key and them connecting like the orphanage and then the mansion.
It was a nice tie-in, but
I appreciate them trying to add stuff from the games, but to me, them connecting her to Claire made no sense.
Alex, what's your cons, bud?
Well, to be honest, right from the get-go, I'm just going to say that to me, this movie was like something that'd be on Sci-Fi Channel at 12 o'clock on a Saturday morning rather than a big-time movie. And especially, I think it says something when the closest theater to me that even played this movie was 45 minutes away. So obviously they weren't having high expectations for it. And it was just weird. I thought, it starts out, Claire's in the truck with the truck driver. It's like a half kind of rapey scene. I'm like, what is going on? He's touching her leg. I was like, this is stupid. And then, you go on from there. She breaks into her brother's house. She's eating God knows how old pizza and putting a football helmet on. The longer it went, the more I was just kind of confused. It got better as it went on, but the first little bit, there's no background characters hardly anywhere in the movie in the first half, anywhere. You got a gigantic police department in a ghost town. Going back to what he was talking about, the scene with Chris where the zombies are like holding him down. 1 second he's being held down by like 4 or 5 zombies, and the next second he's up gunning them down. I'm like, what the hell just happened? You got a lot of bad cuts, I feel like, in this movie. Like, I don't know if it's the editing or if they just kind of they wrote it that way or what the deal is. The casting I didn't mind. It's not true to the video game per se, the way the characters are kind of portrayed. Leon, where he's asleep at the desk and the semi comes crashing in, the guy's on fire and he doesn't even see him. I was like, I think they said something that he shot his partner or something in training. Just made him a clumsy, goofy character that it's just stupid.
Yeah, it's hard for me not to use the F word.
Yeah.
When it comes to Leon right now, because I'm really wanting to drop an F bomb, but no.
I'll be honest, I just didn't like it. Yeah.
They made him a loser.
They made him look really stupid in this. At least the first, all but the last 5 minutes, maybe.
Yeah, like he was he's a cop. He went through the academy. He's should be somewhat tactical and calm and collected and confident. Yeah, but he's a bumbling idiot, in a way. Like the guy in the jail cell steals his sidearm, doesn't even notice. Then
Yeah, I
zombie
about got
rips,
up and walked out when that happened.
dude gets his throat ripped out, and Leon cowers and falls onto a desk, literally like fetal position.
I'll not lie.
Saved.
I couldn't tell you what happened the last 5 minutes because by the time it got to that, I was literally looking at the clock in my house like, damn, is this over yet? And the next thing I know, I look up and he's got a rocket launcher, and I'm just like, where the hell did that come from? So, which that could just be me not paying attention. But I'll be honest, by the time it was over, I was done with it.
Well, I'll start at the top with this. The writer and director was a guy, Johannes Roberts. I've looked at Johannes Roberts' IMDb earlier today. He started back in 2001 as a director all the way up until the present. Almost every movie he has produced, or not produced, but that directed, has like a 5 out of 10 on IMDb. Damn near every movie that he's been a part of has been a 5 out of 10, except for some he was known for that were like a 2. So to me, that's kind of questionable. That's questionable right there. If you've got a director / writer who has some right in the middle kind of scores with the audience, that's kind of questionable. Casting was absolutely atrocious, man. I don't even know how else to put it. Chris's actor was okay. That was really it for me, was Chris. He was the only one. Leon was a friggin' idiot. He was a coward. He was a loser. He's never been portrayed as that ever, not once. That was stupid. They should not even put him in the movie if they were going to just destroy him that way. And Claire was somehow just this super badass right out of the gate. Like, she was never cowardly or incompetent in the games either, but she wasn't as, I don't know what the word is, maybe tenacious as she was portrayed in the movie. I mean, she comes out and she has Jill's lock picking skills. I mean, she's picking locks. She's got her skills. Then you go to Jill, who is no longer considered the thief lock picker. She's now the marksman. Made no sense. Like, I understand taking liberties, but Jill was never known as being the marksman. That was always Chris. And then you got the cast of it. That's never been the way Jill has ever looked, ever. Like, that was a pretty, like, that the actress was a good actress. She was good in Ant-Man and Wasp as a ghost. I thought she done a good job in that.
I thought she was the best actor in the movie, or actress in this movie, just as far as, giving her lines and stuff. I will say, I think a lot of the complaints I've seen, going back to the director and things, I think this movie had a pretty low budget, from what I understand. So that could be part of the casting and director problems.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I just dropped my Wi-Fi, but I was going to say that it had a $25 million budget. Maybe that's why they went with the director. Maybe it's that he is used to making smaller films and they felt they could throw this out. But I agree with what Alex said. When I saw this movie last night, I thought it should have been on Shudder TV. That's probably where it needed to be. It's made $14 million so far, so probably a good chance it will at least break even at $25 million. But I can't see it making much more money. Casting was terrible. I liked the style of the movie. The set pieces were amazing. But holy shit, man, like, it was too much. Trying to combine the first 2 games, they were able to technically do it and tie it in, but that was a waste. Should have just focused on 1.
And by choosing to tie 1 and 2 together, they eliminated the option to make a 3. Since 2 and 3 run alongside each other game wise, like they're literally at the same time. By destroying the city at the end of this one, there's no room for 3. There will be no nemesis, none of that.
You're right. Yeah. They shot themselves in the foot. Maybe they figured this was a one-off.
I think it would have been a better show than movie.
There was a post credit. I don't know if either of you saw that.
I did.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, they bring in Ada literally for 30 seconds. And then, do the whole thing with Wesker's eyes where he has, the freaking T-Rex demon eyes going on. They give him his shades. And
wasn't happy with Wesker's actor either. I always viewed Wesker as this tall, blonde, what you could say he sort of was, but this guy come across as like Chris Pratt or a jock.
Yeah.
Wesker is sophisticated and calm and brooding, and you never know what's on his mind, really.
An air of superiority.
Absolutely. And this guy seemed like a halfway decent guy, just made a bad call.
Yeah, he just wanted to make some money. Was willing to, do something kinda wrong for some money.
So Alex says Shutter. I say Shutter. Alex said Sci-Fi.
I said Sci-Fi Channel at noon on a Saturday.
Ooh,
El Ray liked it, so I guess I'm more in the middle of it then. If he's a 7 out of 10, I think that makes me a 5 out of 10. I'd say Alex is lower than that.
I can't give it a rating.
No rating.
I mean, it's not a 0. I'm not saying that. I don't know enough about the video game to compare it to the video game, but it's one of the few movies I've ever watched that by the time it was over, I was looking at the clock to see how much longer was left of it.
Yeah, well, it actually felt like it drug on a little bit toward the end. As soon as they met the mansion, I was thinking this movie's got to be more than halfway over at this point. So this is going to be a really quick scene. I don't know. I hope it is a one-off. I hope this is it.
Are they planning a sequel?
I felt that this one could have used another 30 minutes, in my opinion.
I think it would have been a show, a Netflix series or something like that, and they could have drug it out and explained stuff a little more. It might have been better. But
I don't know. Netflix is supposed to have a Resident Evil series coming out that I don't have high hopes for at all. So
don't even want to get on that subject today. That's terrible casting again. Like, why we even gonna talk about it?
I think when you look at the existing Resident Evil franchise, that for whatever reason, when they try to translate those games into movies, it just never ends well.
Dude, it could be so easy. It could be so easy to do. Hell, you could throw Robbie King from Cobra Kai in there as Leon Kennedy, and I've been content with that. Throw Robbie King in there, Cobra Kai. He'd have been a good-ish Leon Kennedy. But nope.
Better than what we got.
And again, man, this ain't a personal attack on any of the actors or actresses. It's the people that produce these movies and make them. I don't get where they're going. I don't get how they expect to appeal to the fan base when they make these decisions that always end up offending the majority of the fan base, I would say.
Absolutely.
But I don't know. Any last thoughts on it, El or Alex?
Like I said, I enjoyed it for the most part. I'd watch it again. Just if I have nothing to do, I got hour 45 to kill, whatever. I'd watch it again. Just for the parts that were good, in my opinion, were pretty good, but the parts that weren't were awful. So it's one of those, like you got to take it or leave it, And like I said, I'd watch it again, just as something to do. But 7 out of 10. It was decent.
Let's see.
I'll rewatch it. I'll rewatch it, but
yeah, you probably need to see it on a bigger screen or something to get the full effect of it.
Yeah,
I saw it in theaters. Damn nice theater though. We'll say that. I was reclined back. There was only 3 other people in there, so it was a good experience.
That should say something though. If there's only 3 people in there,
and I had to drive 36 miles. Now, correction, we'll say about 45 miles to watch it.
I don't know what the deal is with. It seems like there's a lot of theaters that don't have this movie, and I don't know why. Because I checked a couple other. Budget. I checked a couple other places and it didn't have it either. So I don't know what's up with that.
I mean,
yeah, that would be a question. Maybe we need to call some of these local theaters that we know personally and say, why didn't you have Resident Evil? I'd be curious to see what their answer is.
Yeah, I drove 45 minutes to watch it, so I understand.
Well, El Ray, we appreciate you stopping in, man. We'll keep you after credit scene here and talk with you a little bit more. But Alex, if you ain't got nothing else, guys, please like and subscribe to the channel. We're trying to grow. It's just taking time, and things will get better.